To our white brethren at Harvard College and trustees of the Williams Fund, this is under the care of that body for the important use of converting the poor heathen in New England, and who, we understand, by means of that fund, have placed among us the Reverend Phineas Fish. We thought it very likely that you would like to know if we, as a people, respected his person and labors, and whether the money was benefiting the Indians or not. We think it our duty to let you know all about it, and we do say, as the voice of one, with but few exceptions, that we as a tribe for a long time have had no desire to hear Mr. Fish preach, and do say sincerely that we, as a body, wish to have him discharged, not because we have nothing against his moral character, but we believe his labors would be more useful somewhere else, and for these reasons. First, we as a people have not been benefited by his preaching, for our moral characters has not been built up, and there has been no improvement in our intellectual powers, and we know of no Indian that has not been converted by his preaching. Second, we seldom see him upon our plantation to visit us as a people. His visits are as follows: to one house, one visitor 1 year; to another, 2 visits in 5 years; to another one in 7 years, and too many, none at all. Third, we think that 20 years are long enough for one trial. Another reason is that you and the people thinking that we are benefiting by that fund, or money paid to him for preaching to the Indians, and we are not. White people are his visitors and hearers. We would remark here, and we have no objection to worship with our white neighbors, provided that they come as they ought to come, and not as thieves and robbers. And we would ask all of the world if the Marshpee Indians have not been robbed of their rights. We wonder how the good citizens of Boston, or any other town, would like to have the Indians send them a preacher, and force him into the pulpit, and then send other Indians crowded the whites out of their own meeting house, and not pay 1 cent for it. Do you think the white men would like it? We throw not, and we hope others will consider. While they read our distressed tale, it will be perceived that we have no objection if hundreds of other nations visit our meeting house. We only want fair play, for we had foul play enough. Fourth, we do not believe that we have as a good right to the table of the Lord as others. We are kept back to the last, merely because our skins are not so white as the whites, and we know of no scriptures that justify him in so doing. Fifth, we never were consulted as for the settlement over us. As a people, we never gave our vote or voice as a tribe, and we fully believe that we are capable of choosing for ourselves and have the right to do so. And we would now say to you that we have made choice of the Reverend William Apes of the Pequot tribe, and had adopted him as one of ours, and shall hear him preach, in preference to the missionary, and we should like to have him aided, if you can do it. If not, we cannot help it. He is ours, he is ours. Perhaps you had heard of the oppression of the Cherokees, and laminated over them much, and thought the Georgians were hard and cruel creatures. But did you ever hear of the poor, oppressed, and degraded Marshpee Indians in Massachusetts, and lament over them? If not, you hear now, and we have made choice of Reverend William Apes to relieve us, and we hope that you will assist him. And if that above complaints and reasons, and the following resolutions with the satisfactory, we shall be glad and rejoice that you comply with our request. Resolved, that we will rule our own tribe, and make choices of whom we place for our preacher. Resolved, that we will have our own meeting house, and place in the pulpit whom we please to preach to us. Resolved, that we will publish this to the world if the above reasons and resolutions are not heard, and the Reverend Mr. Fish is discharged. The foregoing address and resolutions were adopted by a vote of the tribe unanimously, done at the Council House at Marshpee, May 21st, 1833. Signed, Ebenezer Adequin, President, and Israel Amos, Secretary.